Hey all, thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. This video is going to introduce a new opportunity that we're offering here at Community Reformed Church to participate in a daily spiritual workout. Some of you are familiar with CrossFit, and if you do CrossFit, when you go into CrossFit, they have the workout of the day, the WOD, that you do. It kind of gives you the direction about the plan when you're working out. And so we're going to suggest a daily spiritual workout. And if you have a spiritual workout, if that's already in place for you, that's great. Continue doing that. But if you're looking for some direction about what you can do each day to connect with Christ, we're going to give that to you. So each day you're going to see a short little video like this. This one will be a little longer because I want to share a story that I think helps emphasize the importance of this kind of work in our life. So let me tell you the story. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who shared his story and his interactions with one of his own friends. And so he was feeling some disconnect with his friend because his friend was posting some pretty black and white things on Facebook and creating some level of divisiveness. Those posts included some level of hostility. And so my friend just was trying to navigate that with his friend. Well, his friend had the chance to walk through faith walking, and in the process of working through some of that, came to recognize that what he was doing on Facebook was not who he wanted to be. And so that became kind of part of his journey, is kind of recognizing who he wanted to be on Facebook and in social media. Well, when the Capitol experience took place, my friend's friend, in the emotions that he was feeling, kind of jumped back on and began posting some pretty strongly worded, opinionated perspectives on what was taking place, right? We've all seen those. And so my friend saw that taking place, and he wanted to connect with his friend and kind of knew some of that journey that he'd been on about trying to be who he wanted to be across the board, but also on social media. So he reached out to him, and his friend wasn't responding to text, wasn't responding to phone calls. And finally, after some time, his friend said, yep, I can connect, let's have coffee. And so they did. And so my friend's friend started to kind of spout out all of the emotions and wrestlings that he was having. It was the same things that he was saying on Facebook. It was kind of that divisive, opinionated, this is what's taking place. And my friend just listened and listened. And then when he kind of finished his rant, my friend asked him a really important question. And such a good question for us to be asking one another. That instead of diving into the debate, instead of giving his own opinions about the different issues and perspectives that his friend was sharing, he simply asked this question. He said, how's your spiritual workout going? And the friend said, why are you asking me that? It's like, well, how's your spiritual workout going? Because I know that this is a core part of you experiencing the gift of connection with Christ, and often in that place being the person that you want to be. And his friend said, yeah, I've kind of lost sight of that. And with that came some conviction for my friend's friend that, as he began to look at what was taking place, what was driving him was his emotions, what was driving him was his opinions and perspectives, that he had disconnected in many ways from not only Christ, but from people like my friend who provide some accountability and some fellowship and some encouragement that's so important for all of us being who we need to be. And so it just emphasizes to me again how important our spiritual workout is. That maybe as you look at your life today, that you see some of the breakdowns taking place or some of the separation in relationship. Maybe you're like this other friend who has been all caught up in what's going on with the different debates about politics and where our government's at. And yet, such an important part of us being who we need to be is continuing to turn our attention to the source of life, the source of truth, the source of light. And it's why spiritual workouts are so important, that we consistently build up those faith muscles so that we continue to be the people we want to be in this world, and we let God be the one that really guides and directs how we look at what's taking place around us and how we look at one another. And so it's why we think this is so important, that we consistently turn our attention to Christ. And so it's why we're suggesting over the course of these next month or so, even though we're wrestling with being online and separated, that one of the things we encourage one another to do is to focus our attention upon Christ. And so here's spiritual workout for Monday, January 18th. Again, we're calling it S.W.E.T, the spiritual workout, every day. So every day that we focus some attention upon Christ. And here's a suggestion. First is this area of connecting. Take a couple minutes to be still, to be alone, to be in the presence of God. And this is just a suggested prayer that you could pray in the midst of that. And then read. We're going to take you through the Sermon on the Mount. So we're starting in Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. Read this text a couple times. Invite God to help you to hear what he wants you to hear in the midst of it. Make some space to reflect upon this word and what this word is saying to you about God, about you, about the circumstances of your life. And then finally, these are just some suggested activities in response. So one of them is give thanks to God for the blessings. Matthew 5, 1 through 12 is the Beatitudes, and it's talking about the blessings. And that it's really important for us to be reminded and give thanks for the blessings that God has given us in our life. And as it says here, name them. Say them out loud. God, I thank you for this and for that, for these blessings that you brought into my life. And then the final one, which is kind of more outward focused, do something anonymously today for someone else as a blessing to them. So whether it's paying for the person behind you in line, whether it's sending an anonymous note, whatever it is, do something that's a blessing to somebody else. And so each day we're going to be providing this. You'll see it on our website, you'll see it on our Facebook page, and you'll see it in our emails. We're not going to text this to you every single day, but we hope for those of you that are looking for some direction about a spiritual workout today, that this would be helpful. So thank you for watching this video. I promise the rest of them each day won't be this long, but I think it's helpful in just emphasizing why this is so important, that we connect with Christ as we seek to live in this world. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.